Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier, powered by Box Eye Care. X is still out on assignment. Want to invite you to get in on the conversation. We're live, local, and ready to get things rolling right here on your home for Alabama sports. It is the Martin Houston Show. Check us out on Facebook at the live stream on the Martin Houston Show on Facebook. You can find that on Alabama Crimson Tide Sports with Martin and Xavier. So we would love for you to become a part of all that we do on the airwaves as well as off the airwaves. So please like, follow, and share. Gonna look like we're having a little difficulty on the radio side. Hopefully they'll be able to join in with us. And if they not, we may end up not having any phone calls today. But if you're able to hear us on the radio airwaves, the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions hotline is 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904. That's Empowerment Strategies and Solutions hotline. It is open for business. Remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice, be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Got a great show lined up for you. It's a wild card Wednesday. We may be a little bit of everywhere today, but definitely have to talk SEC hoops as a whole. Talk about Bama and Ole Miss specifically. Oh, what an ugly game. I think Texas A&M showed a formula, and then Ole Miss absolutely executed on it as the number 4 team in the land. The number 4 team in the land falls hard last night, losing on their home court. You have now. I say this carefully. Because let me see how I say this. They did something last night very similar to what Vanderbilt did to our football team. Okay. Now, don't jump off the bandwagon. I still believe in the Alabama Crimson Tide basketball team, but in the same year, Vanderbilt wins their first ever game against a top, I think it was 2, but we were number 1. First time they had won a game since like a top 5 team, period, right? Ole Miss had never won. Make sure all y'all listen. Never. That's ever with an N. Never ever won a top 5 game on the road and was like 3-48 all time, period, against top 4 opponents. Well, both of those numbers improved last night. Several streaks ended for Alabama last night. Woo, it was just, I don't even know. Hey, 64 points. 64 points. Alabama scored 64 points. Mm. Woo. We said that we said that if that what you call it wouldn't win because they couldn't get to into the 80s or the 90s. Well, there's something called defense, and they got it. They got it. They got it. They got it in bunches last night. We'll break down that game as we move forward this morning. But we weren't the only ones to bite the bullet last night. Uh, Missouri beat the Gators on their home court as well. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what this means for Alabama heading into the Kentucky game. Does a win at Kentucky nullify and balance out the loss of Ole Miss, or could it begin a slide? Not a big time slide, but you understand a slide, meaning 2 losses in the same week after getting back into the top 5. The Auburn Tigers, I think, proved last night that as of the regular season, they're the team to beat. They absolutely throttled Mississippi State. So we'll talk about all of those things as we talk about SEC. Also, we've talked about it, we've hinted on it, but really haven't dug into it in terms of recalibration and expectations. I've hit on it a little bit. I'll try to go a little deeper with that. Grubb in or out? Man, I keep hearing different things. Is Grubb in or out at Alabama? And if he's in, what does that mean? Are they only negotiating with Grubb? Is it possible they're negotiating with other things? How do this staff and coaching staff move about and change? Because Alabama lost one defensive coach, but they've hired 2. Okay. Alabama only lost one defensive coach, but they've hired 2. Morrells, and now, as of yesterday, Jason Jones has joined the Crimson Tide staff. So you have a linebacker coach, which that is the job that the defensive coordinator used to do, or may still do. I don't know. And you replace Hitzler in the defensive backfield, but you only lost one coach. What does that mean? Who else is out? Who else is changing? Who else is leaving? I don't know. Who else is coming? Because right now, Chase, help me understand it, but I don't know that they have I don't know if there's an opening. But we're talking about Grubb coming in or out. They're at their max number, I think. So what's going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well, and then of course maybe some NFL, college football playoff reviews, etc. And we'll wrap up the show with Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries, and get his thoughts and get a challenge from him to help us take our faith from the boardroom, the classroom, or our chosen field of play. Remember that this is truly a day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. So let me see if we have any comments over here. Let me see from the peanut gallery. Oh, Chuck Hunt said Alabama men's basketball team ran into trouble with Ole Miss. I watched the second half. Woo! You watched about as bad a half of basketball as I was seeing. CJ Watson saying what a debacle last night. Curtis Moore the second agreeing with him. And Blind Squirrel Sport said losing to Ole Miss is always disgusting, no matter who you root for. Um, you know, yeah, you look at that basketball team, man. What were your just thoughts, Chase? Just looking at that watching that game last night. Um, Something stood out to me as I watched that game, as well as um, the Missouri Florida game. Oh man, so let me ask you a question, guys. Think about this for a second. We as Alabama fans have been so hype about this season because of the transfer portal. But what we didn't probably do justice as a analyst, as a radio guy, as a host, I probably didn't I probably didn't do justice to you guys by figuring out who everybody else was getting. Now, we said we needed Big O, and we do. We still need the big red dog, big red Clifford and Clifford O, and all of those. We still need him to step up in a big way. When are we going to see a game like Ole Miss's big man from our big man? Dia, who went from, I can't remember, he was on an SEC school, went down to play, found himself at Belmont, and now he's back in the SEC. That big man took over the game last night and owned the game on the defensive end, physical, all of those things. So coming back on the other side, I want you to be thinking about the following. What is it about the transfer portal that we haven't thought about really in basketball? Is every team, I don't even know what three teams are not in the tournament race in the SEC. I mean, it's like every game you watch, everybody can beat everybody. And now Ole Miss is in first place with Auburn. Let that sink in. Ole Miss is the first place team in the SEC. You have to now give them respect and not be rating them off of the team that they had last year. Because of the transfer portal, you just don't know what all each team has. And if the transfer portal can help a Vanderbilt in football, what can it do for a 5-man basketball team? What can one or two guys do for that? And is Chris Beard's philosophy? Chuck Hunt says, you all see who Ole Miss basketball coach is? Chris Beard, who led Texas Tech to a national championship appearance, which they lost in overtime to Virginia. Defense versus defense versus defense in that game. It was ugly. But is Chris Beard, what he doing, the equivalent of what I try to say football coaches should do? I'm telling you, I would go back to, if I was coaching D1 football, I would go back to a West Coast pro style offense that has a fullback, athletic fullback, where I can spread the ball around if I want to go, but also have a physical downhill running game. Because I don't think defenses are built to stop it. Is that what we saw last night on the basketball court? We'll come back on the other side. We'll get our thoughts together. We'll let you get your thoughts together. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. Xavier's out again. Keep him in your prayers. Things are good. He's just going through uh, and out on assignment, so he'll be back with us hopefully before the end of the week. But yeah, man, it's it's an interesting time in T Town. Are we now to the point where our heart is ripped out when the basketball team loses a game to another good basketball team? Not just a basketball, but a good basketball team. So continue to send your thoughts in. Give us a call. We'll be back on the other side. All right, guys, we're still coordinating over on the other side, so they'll let me know when we're ready to go back on the airways. But I'll talk to my uh, crew on this side, um, and that way we can be ready when we're ready to tune back in to the show on the radio airwaves. So, but hey, don't forget, got Live to Lead coming up. Live to Lead, great conference coming up. Hey, scan the QR code, find out all the details, register your group to $70 for an individual table, eight a table of 8 for $400. So definitely some good things there that you want to be a part of a leadership conference featuring John Maxwell and other world class leaders as well as local talent of coaches, speakers, and trainers. That's the Live to Lead, martinhouston.org/live to lead. All right, we're going to try to call in and see if we can get that get the connection going. So guys, hang in there with me as we prepare to make that transition and add us on airways. Man, what a crazy time. All right. I'm back and we're live, local, and ready to get it rolling, guys. So let's do that thing right now. Phone lines open 205 342 9904. 205 342 9904. That's Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline. Let me hear from you. We got a few comments. We got a few comments that we want to get to on the from the live stream. CJ Watson said it was a combination of Ole Miss executing their game plan at I would put, he said high level, I put extremely high level. He had high capitalized. Bama struggled to get out of their own way. Bama was off, straight up off. Couple that with Ole Miss controlling the tempo. 20 plus turnovers will lose you a lot of games. Bama was poor in all aspects of the game yesterday. That doesn't happen much. So I'm not discouraged, but I don't want to face Ole Miss again. Actually, I would love to face Ole Miss again. I have a little different thought there. I hope Alabama will grow and learn. I hope Alabama grow and learn from this. And I hope that film of last night's game somehow gets burned because Chris Beard knows how to sink his defense and cut off the cross-court pass. And our players were still trying to make that pass after the 17th and the 18th and the 19th turnover. If they had got a bunch of steals a bunch of different ways, I wouldn't be as frustrated and would be even more impressed. But the go down on one side of the court and try to skip pass or throw it across the court, and the guy in the middle of their defense picking it off. If I saw that once, I saw it multiple times. So, what are you thinking? And this team, CJ Watson, and this team looks like that Texas team that was a top 3 team when he got fired. Yeah. He's got his team playing like he wants them to. And here's the thing. No one was talking about Ole Miss, so we thought, okay, that's just Ole Miss. They hadn't played anybody. Well, maybe they've played just as many as we have, and they have such a different style that it throws us off. I know somebody that was at the game. Pat, you're in with Martin on the Empowerment Strategy and Solution Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, did you get my text last night? that they had number 35 playing for them on Ole Miss's team, and he had 5 of them.
I did. I did.
They had fullbacks playing basketball. They got punched in the mouth. And I mean, hey, there was one time before in the head. Damn. I didn't think that kid was going to get it. But hey, and I got to blame all of this on Coach Oates. Coach Oates did not have them ready to play when they got to the court. But then at halftime, he said, Lord, he had the nerve. But they were sluggish that they didn't play. Well, whose fault is it? Who is the head coach Oates is? And I mean, I got one word to see what I saw, because I believe in Erwin Dudley. I believe in Zachary. And darn if I hadn't fell into the trap again. I believe in Coach. I don't know. I'm just one word. I can't talk about pathetic. Pathetic. That's the word comes to mind.
Well, you know, in a long season, you have ups and downs, and it was disappointing, a disappointing loss. But is that still Nate Oates basketball team's kryptonite? A physical, slow down, hard-nosed defensive team. What I watched, it reminded me. It reminded me, Pat, of the San Diego State game. It's reminded me of the games. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it just showed me that he's not feeding the players, that he's not building enough muscle, blah, blah, blah. Then, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to. We couldn't make a layup. We couldn't make a fast cut. When Grant Nelson misses 2 back to back, I mean, you know, he just got meant to be. I kept thinking myself. I kept thinking they're going to come back. Yeah, I was up there watching it. I was watching it live. I was them had my butt to sleep. I was supposed to. Oh, it was horrible.
All right.
Hopefully.
Thanks, Pat. You know, guys, I apologize for that phone connection. I got bits and pieces of what he was saying there, but I want to try to let him vent a little bit. You know, what I picked up from what he was saying was, you know, it's Nate Oates' responsibility to have them ready, and in that they pretty much everything, missing layups, missing free throws, bad passing. You know, the way I look at it, last night's basketball game is the equivalent of a fight. Chase, is it allowing you to communicate with me?
Yes, I'm here with you.
Yeah. Think. Did you watch much boxing? Have you watched much boxing?
As of late, not really, but I watched it with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Yeah, that wasn't boxing. That was. But my point was this: you could go into a match where a guy throws a bunch of jabs, right? He's just jabbing, boom, boom, and he's scoring a lot of points. But the other guy just keeps boxing. He keeps going. If you jab a guy and he's a jabber, then it's just a bunch of jabbing going on, right? And the guy with the jab, with the most jabs will win. If you go against a guy who's a puncher and you're a jabber, you can jab him, but he just keeps coming, and you can be ahead on the point total, but he's throwing body blows. Boom, boom. He's behind on the points, But as the fight goes deeper, the jab slows down and the body blows start to take more effect. And one of two things happen. He either knocks you out or he just starts tallying up the points and starts closing in on you. And if there's enough time, his point total will catch you and surpass you. Okay? So let's, on the other side, I want to talk to you about body blows because that's what we saw last night. What I just described to you, Chase, is Alabama is a jab team. Now we're going to get our points. We're going to poo, 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 poo. We're going to get our point. But are we going to be able to sustain those points when the other team is delivering body blows? I tell you why one team didn't get to come back with us on us because they ran out of time, but they beat us last night via Ole Miss. And I'll talk about what I mean by that. You might be saying, what is Martin talking about? But that just means you have to stay tuned to the other side of the break. You listen to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. I want to thank the good folks over at Box Eye Care. Box Eye Care, they take care of my vision. They take care of every need that I have, maintenance as well as corrective care. They have a great new in-house lab. Man, the professionals right there on staff, on site to get you taken care of. And they have a great, extensive, one of the largest inventories in town. Dr. Box and his team, they are there, prepared and ready to serve you. Thanks to Box Eye Care for powering the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
High 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. A very good morning to you on this Hump Day Wednesday. We got a situation on our hands already this morning. 2059 eastbound before McFarland. Watch out for this overturned vehicle. Everything is on the right shoulder now. Doesn't have too much of a delay. Maybe an onlooker tap on the brakes or two when you pass. Otherwise, traffic is moving pretty much at posted speed. Not doing too bad here on McFarland at Lurleen Wallace intersection. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
Shop now at the Home Depot and save on select appliances like Frigidaire. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Invalid January 9 through the 29th, 2025.
Outlet market, lots of blowing. Don't do it yourself, or you'll be glowing. Call Taylor Electric. We do it all. Taylor Electric. Give the boss man a call.
Call or text 205-553-0958.
Fair pricing is what we do. Taylor Electric, we are here for you.
We aren't a winning school. We are a championship school. And we make legends. Join the Crimson Tide as they look to continue to rise to the top of the NCAA basketball mountain.
One-handed play.
Every game, all season, right here on your home for Alabama basketball. The Crimson Tide Sports Network from Nearfield.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
Windshield wiper. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Dixie Battery Supply takes care of all of your battery needs. Find the commercial batteries you're after and never feel powerless again. Come check out our Northport and Tuscaloosa locations or call us at 205-758-9190. And once again, power up all your devices by using Dixie Battery Supply, DixieBatterySupply.com. They offer reconditioned batteries starting at $39.99, and you will find all the batteries you need. And don't forget to ask us about our golf carts. That's DixieBatterySupply.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredient. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist. I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier on Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. Don't forget about North River Timber Company. North River Timber Company, you can find them or email and communicate with them at northrivertimberco@gmail.com. northrivertimberco@gmail.com. Courtney White and Chase Pearson, they have 20 plus years of registered forestry experience, so you're going to get treated right and the job's going to be well done. Whether it's timber harvesting, whether it's land appraisal or land management. If you don't know what each one of those are, you need to call them up, 205-242-5127, 205-242-5127, and they will walk you through it and explain it to you. And remember, Courtney White, he'll tell you, if you have land and you own land, it's like having money in the bank. Give North River Timber Company, LLC, a call. 205-242-5127. All right, as we were going to break there, I was telling you, Chase, the whole jab versus body blow in a boxer. Like a guy could be fighting Mike Tyson in the old days. And this didn't happen very often, but he could be scoring those points, but Tyson would just be hitting him with those body blows. And then all of a sudden, the guy couldn't jab anymore because he was trying to protect that rib. He couldn't jab because he was trying to protect that temple. And then Tyson would walk him down. But it's just body blows, right? That's what physical teams do. Like when you play football, it happens in football, Chase. Guys, you play on a team, and it looks and feels like one team is just dominating because they're getting all of these yards. Then you look at the scoreboard, and it's like, oh, it's not that much. Then that physical team just starts body blowing the other team, and they just keep body blowing. And if they don't run out of time, they win. Arizona and Texas. Arizona was physical. I mean, that running back, they didn't want to have anything to do with him. And then you have some guys like you have guys like Baltimore that they can jab you and body blow you, right? And then they'll just smoke you down the stretch. But that principle is what happened to Alabama, Chase. You watched that game last night, and Alabama was jabbing early, right? But Ole Miss was just body blowing, man. They were physical. They were beating them up. And Alabama played physical on the defensive end. But what happened? What happened? This was Alabama's second physical game in a row, Chase, listeners. It was their second physical game in a row. And I believe the body blows from Texas A&M coming on the heels of that, another body blow team, Alabama ran out of jabs. Texas A&M just ran out of time. Would you agree with that, Chase? Like if that had been 5 more minutes in that game, Texas A&M wins that game. They were down by
exactly.
15. Do what?
No, I was saying, yeah, exactly.
They were down by 15. Alabama was jabbing them. And then all of a sudden, man, the physicality started to wear on Alabama. They played worse down the stretch. They had more turnovers. They didn't shoot as well. They didn't shoot free throws as well. They got rattled a little bit. They were able to hold on. Then they come into this game, and they're clearly the better offensive team. But they couldn't pull away. They jab and get a little lead, and then Ole Miss would body blow them, man. And then they would come back, and then they come out in the second half, and Ole Miss was just body blowing. And what you saw was there was enough time that what happened? Not only did they start getting points, go back and watch the end of that game. Chase, did you watch the end of the game?
I did.
Explain to me how Alabama in the last 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, shot after Stevenson made his corner three. Alabama shot like 2 threes. I'm like, guys, you're down by 9. And you're dribbling around. I'm like, holla, you don't have time to dribble. Shoot. Because when you go down there amongst those trees, they're gonna punish you. And you're only gonna get 2 points. You can't catch up. And the Alabama just couldn't get back in the game. Chase, they were blown. 2 back-to-back games. And is that Nate Oates' kryptonite? A physical team that has decent offense. Because they showed more offense in clutch moments. That's what you have to realize. In clutch moments last night, they just showed up. And they to me, they had Alabama confused and discombobulated and like dazed. They were leaving guys open on the offensive end. They were not jacking up the threes. At one point, Chase, and now we're getting to George. Hey, listen. At one point, Chase, Alabama had turned the ball over on 34% of their possessions. At the end of the game, Alabama had 40, I don't know the exact number, 40-something shots to 70-something shots. I mean, you're just not going to beat anybody when you have that going on. And we were still making the same turnover on the last possession. And if Pat didn't hear Nate Oates' press conference, he dogged him. He talked about the leadership and the not being ready. And then he said, it starts with me. It's my fault. He took responsibility for it. So we'll see. George from Macon, you're in on the Empowerment Strategies and Solutions Hotline. What's on your mind, sir?
Martin, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, my take on the game, first off, we're trying to penetrate the middle, and they're jumping on us and surrounding us. And when they collapse on you, you got to make that pass immediately before they get on you. And then when they get on you, they got quick hands to take the ball away from you. So, the remedy of that is that you got to have a better ball movement and you got to make 3-point shots. And there was a time, I think it was Justin had a horrible night shooting free throws. He missed the front end of a one-on-one, and then he missed both of a 2-point foul shotting. And when you don't make your foul shots and you're not making your threes, and they're taking the ball away from you, you've got to make your foul shots. I mean, we're always one step slow, then make threes. Why we keep trying to penetrate the middle when you're taking the ball away is beyond me. The reason you penetrate the middle is so you can shoot and get open shots on the beyond the 3-point line. Basically, we just played a bad game, and it's nothing more to be said than that.
Was that on us, or was that a forced bad game?
I think it's on us, but they were also very well prepared for us, and we weren't. It's like, say, against A&M, we got rebounds. We didn't get rebounds. But it's very frustrating when you have, 22, 23, 24 turnovers, and you miss foul shots.
Yeah.
I mean, we got shooting the 80% on foul shots.
Well, here's a couple things. I would tell you it was on Ole Miss. Ole Miss created Alabama's issues last night. That's what I was trying to point out is you can say that, hey, you should hit your free throws, you should hit your threes, but the reason they weren't is because of the body blows. Listen, getting your legs, people don't think about this. Your legs and your mental state, your legs and your conditioning is as important to your free throws as your stroke. Alabama, man, they had them. Listen, when they drove, they was dropping back and they were taking away where Alabama wants to throw the ball to. And that's why I say I hope this film catches on fire or burns up. Because if you watch what they did last night, they took away the pass that Alabama wants to make when they drive and the drive is taken away. Now, with all of that said, George, I want the Bama fans to recognize this. As bad as Alabama played, at one point they were down by, I think, 5 or 4 or something like that. As bad as Alabama played, they still had a chance. So I don't think that they were going to win that game just because of the flow of it that night. But if they do one or two things differently or a little bit better, they win the game. So it's crazy to think, but they still had a chance outside shot as bad as they played. My concern, though, is if you're going to make a run in the tournament, you're going to face physical teams back-to-back. Here's a question I have for you, George, before I let you go. Does this actually, though, in some ways maybe benefit Alabama for Saturday against Kentucky?
Oh, it most definitely does because that's how everybody's going to play it. The point I'm trying to make is when we drive the middle, there comes a split-second point where you got to pass it off. What we're trying to do is go down deep under the basket, do a wraparound pass, or at the top of the key, we try that pass to Nelson, in between them, and they were stopping that. Ole Miss was ready for us. They knew what we were going to do, but like the point you said, we still had a chance to win. I think there was a point where we were 4 or 5 points down, and we had the ball, and we have another turnover, and then they hit a 3. I mean, as badly as we played and as well as Ole Miss played to prepare for us, all we got to do is change up a few things, and instead of having 24, 25 turnovers, have 18. I mean, thanks.
George just said, we'll take 18 turnovers, Bama. Thanks, George.
I mean,
oh, that's pretty funny. Hey, we'll take 18 turnovers, guys. Anyway, we'll keep the conversation rolling on tomorrow. Coming up on the other side, we're going to add Scotty Hollins, Executive Director, Blueprint Ministries, to the conversation to encourage us. You're listening to the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier.
Coming out on the game with Ryan Fowler.
Coming up on the Wednesday edition of the game, we'll talk to Aaron Torres, Fox Sports. We'll talk to Josh from College Football Nerds. We'll talk to Bruce Marshall, all starting at 2 p.m. here on the game on Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, your home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
The longest running sports program in Tuscaloosa. The game with Ryan Fowler. Weekday weekdays from 2 to 6 p.m. on Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9 traffic.
Tuscaloosa traffic now from the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center. Getting reports of an overturned vehicle on 2059 eastbound before McFarland Boulevard. Everything's on the right shoulder now. All the main lanes are open. You will tap on the brakes, mostly due to onlooker delays. McFarland starting to thicken up just a bit also right at the Lurleen-Wallace intersection. And traffic on 2059 between 359 and Joe Malisham is clear inside the construction zone. With your Tuscaloosa traffic now, Tammy Thomas.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have the right team. Download the Lowe's app to get their home improvement playbook in your hands so you can get their team's expertise anytime.
I'm John Fail. 4 years ago, I promised to work hard for District 6 and Tuscaloosa. I've done that. I have been as accessible as anyone, answering your phone calls, going to homes when needed, and meeting with you on Saturday mornings. I have supported public safety, schools, parks, and seen new restaurants come to our district. I need your support March 4th to continue what we've started. I'm John Fail, and I approve this message.
The Venue, your new favorite Tuscaloosa hangout, food, music, and more. Come and taste what's new at the Venue, whether it's Liza's Sweet Shop, whether it's the all-day breakfast and burgers from Ramajamas, or the quality food that you can get at Finish Pub. Great atmosphere, great time, great people, great environment. That's the Venue. You can find them online at thevenuetuscaloosa.com, located off of Watermelon Road, just past Sokol Park. That's the Venue, Tuscaloosa's new favorite hangout. Make it yours.
The city of Tuscaloosa's favorite outdoor ice skating rink is back and better than ever. Come find us at Government Plaza November 29th through January 20th. Skate passes and season tickets can be purchased at Government Plaza or online at holidaysontheplaza.com. Don't forget that skate passes make great stocking stuffers. Looking to host a private party or celebration? Holidays on the Plaza has you covered. To learn more about private party packages, check out holidaysontheplaza.com. That's holidaysontheplaza.com.
Visit the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at midtown.com. TJ and his team are looking for the opportunity to provide you with great services, including compounding, home delivery, and a whole lot more. You're looking for a great pharmacy that'll take care of all of your needs, including wellness classes, including health, and more. That's the pharmacy at Midtown. Call them at 205-579-9933. You're looking for a great pharmacy. You need to try the pharmacy at Midtown. That's the pharmacy at Midtown, pharmacy at midtown.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. We can help you save on the right oil for your vehicle. Right now, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic or Castrol Edge Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil with an FTP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $35.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Houston Hydrostein. That's Houston Hydrostein. Quality work you can stand on. Whether you're looking for carpet and upholstery cleaning, oriental rug cleaning, residential or commercial water damage, and a whole lot more, you need to call Houston Hydrostein at 205-553-9460, 553-9460, or visit them online at HoustonHydrostein.com. And once again, Houston Hydrostein is quality work you can stand on.
It's time for the Martin Houston Show with the theme hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach in which he played the game. Martin will take you inside the locker room, down on the field, and across the goal line with his in-depth analysis.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with Martin and Xavier. It's now time for the Harvest Church 2-minute warning, where we have Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministry. Harvest Church 2-minute warning, where we love God, love people. Come check us out on tonight at 6 for a meal and message at 6:30, or Sunday at 9, Bible study, 10 a.m. Word and Worship. Scotty Hollins, welcome back, man. Good to have you back. How's it going?
Hey, doing great. Glad to be back, man. And so I'm going to start our series in these last couple minutes, and we're just going to finish up. And actually what we're going to do, Martin, because we're, on the series, Fundamentals That Build a Firm Foundation, that's a great place. We were about to wrap it up, but that's a great place to start a new year, don't you think?
Absolutely.
So we'll just kind of do a review over the next several weeks of those building blocks and those fundamentals that build that firm foundation. And so today I just want to start with this, man, just a brief message. Mark 1:35, it says, early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus went to a solitary place where he prayed. Again, early in the morning, while it was still dark, Jesus went to a solitary place where he prayed. And so what we see that in this passage is, and this is where I always, when you think about, if you do something early, so early that it's still dark, and if you go to a solitary place, that thing must be a really big priority. You follow me? And so it shows us that Jesus' time praying to the Father was very important in his life. It was a priority. I could say maybe it was the priority. And so here's what I want to encourage us with. As we start off and kick off this year, obviously we're a couple weeks into this year. But as we begin this year, I want to say, what's the most important priority in your life? I want you to think about that. Okay. And then also let's take a place from Jesus' book and look at his greatest priority and look at how his greatest priority impacted his choices and his decisions. So ultimately his greatest priority was the Father. And so he says, I got to spend time with him daily. And so because he, made that his greatest priority, he chose to wake up early, super early. Now, listen, I'm not here to say you got to wake up early to spend time with God. I'm here to say, make sure that he makes it on your calendar. Make sure he makes it on your schedule. There's no greater use of your time than spending a few minutes with the Lord, getting direction, getting wisdom, getting guidance, and really more importantly, just connecting with him. And just so as I always say, the greatest gift that God could ever give us is himself. It's not the blessing, it's the blesser. So my encouragement to you this year is to find a time daily to spend time with God. Find a place where that's your place where you spend time with God. And I want to encourage you to challenge yourself to seek to make that not a priority, but the priority. Martin?
That's awesome. Hey, listen, one of the challenges I had was that I was reading this thing and listening to this thing, and the guy said there's no such thing as the word Christian in the Bible. It's the word disciple. And so if our priority is to be a Christian, then, we really don't have a true guidebook. But if our desire is to be a disciple, then there's a clear guidebook. So do and prioritize like a disciple, not like a Christian. I know that sounds crazy, but let that sink in for a second. If you want to be a football player, you're going to spend time practicing basketball. You're still an athlete, though.
That's good stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. Tell them where to find you, man.
Absolutely. You can go to www.blueprinttuscaloosa.com. Send me a message there and come straight to my email.
All right. Hey, that's Scotty Hollins, Executive Director of Blueprint Ministry. I'm Martin Houston. That's Chase Brumfield. Thank all the callers, viewers, and chats for being part of the show. Hey, we're going to talk about tomorrow. We may try to work in, is Dion going to the Cowboys? Dion in Dallas, prime time on the primetime team. We'll talk about that and much, much more. We'll keep talking about basketball. Did Alabama get body blowed 2 games in a row and it caught up with them? Are they ready for Kentucky? We'll let you know. Trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding, all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Roll Tide, everybody.